So now we are live. I'm sorry for the technical issue. We need to wait.
We took a little time to get going and to get everything set up. There's it's very technical, David.
It is. But now it's all good. Let's see if we are in the right spot. Here it says Facebook and YouTube. So okay. Let's see.
So yes, we are on live, which is really exciting. I can see us. So last time we just went live to
we were just wait a few seconds. Let's say a minute until all our translators are on, because this Facebook Live is being translated. In how many languages, Laura?
Well, we don't know the exact number every day, but we are probably having around 15 different languages.
Nice.
Which is awesome. But we're not on live at the moment, so. And we have people from Saudi Arabia on. Welcome. Nice. I don't know who. I can't see.
Hello, everyone.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah. On. I like this platform, the StreamYard, because you can see the comments here on the right side. It's nice. And it's the beautiful setup with the title and with the graphics. It's amazing. It's amazing. And yeah. Okay, I think we're 1 minute in. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay.
So good morning, everybody, and welcome to call number 5 for Exponentializing. And I have the immense pleasure of having hosting David Kubes on to today's call. So David, you're going to be talking about doing it your way, unlocking your true capacities.
Oh, yes, do it my way. I actually chose this title when I started taking Access Consciousness classes, because I was functioning from the point of view that I can't sing. And there was this specialty class from Access Consciousness, Right Voice for You. And, in my real life, I am a lawyer, I'm a businessman, I do all that stuff. And I was always thinking to myself, well, I know I can't sing, so why would I do this Right Voice for You class? Why would I intentionally embarrass myself? Which was a very interesting point of view. And I always thought that was smart. So yeah, just don't even go there, because it's not working. Well, I made one wrong choice. I took another Access class and met Susanna Mittermaier, who then said, wow, interesting point of view. I think you should try it anyway. And I did. I went to the Right Voice for You class. I was tortured on stage. It was very hard work for Susanna. I still need to apologize. It took me, I think, an hour. And then I got over my point of view. I jumped off the cliff. And I just started singing. I did it my way, Frank Sinatra. Totally willing to embarrass myself to a degree that I haven't done or thought I did before. And this is when it all changed. This was the moment when it all changed. And it was, for me, it was world-changing, that moment that you don't go into, could I ever embarrass myself? Shouldn't I do it? Should I not? Or should I? And what will other people think? Everybody loved it. I had fun. And the question whether it was good or nice or good, that didn't exist. It was because I did it because of the fun of it. Finally, at the beginning, of course not. And from that moment on, I knew I can do whatever I want. I can still choose it, but from a choice, not from a limitation. And I don't want to inspire you to pick something that you really hate doing and then just do it to push yourself over the cliff. I found out that please don't buy any lie that anyone ever told you. And I remember where that lie came from. I was in a first grade. I was 6 years old. We had this music teacher, and he came testing our voices. And he stopped me. I was, when you have to go this, he said, you're not talented at all, sit down. So he threw me out after a second. And this is why I bought the lie, I can't sing. And then, I don't know, 35 years later, I find out that it was a lie. So this for me was the moment to go, okay, what's fun for me, and not what do other people tell me about myself. I know we all have talent, and we have parents and friends who always tell us, oh my God, you're good at this, you're good at that, and why don't you do this? But we also have people who project these limitations at us, probably not telling us directly you're not good at it, but conveying that energy. So please just don't buy that, and ask yourself what's fun for me and what do I truly desire. And but I also want to talk about doing it your way. There are so many ways to do things, and visuality tells us every time and everywhere how to do it. And then we start copying it. And then we think if we don't do it that way, if you don't do it that way, we won't be successful. But guess why? The people who truly were successful in their life, they did it their way. And by successful, I don't mean you need to start another Facebook and become Mark Zuckerberg #2. By successful, I mean you waking up every morning excited, starting your day, having fun in your life. I mean, this is what Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, always says. The purpose of life is having fun. It's not working towards retirement where you then enjoy your pension. It's not about proving how great you are and making that amount of money. It's this everyday condition, state of being that determines how much fun you have. You can't save fun for later. You can enjoy it now, every moment, because you can't turn back time. So saving it up for later doesn't really create. And I found out after I unlocked my limitation that I can't sing. I mean, I'm still not a singer. I'm still not singing, and I've never really, it didn't really, it unlocked something inside. Okay, it was this knowing. It's a knowing. It gave me access to what I know about myself. And that was way greater than getting up on stage and sing or speak or something like that. So it's this knowing that whatever I desire, I can do it. And also, especially in the current situation now, we are in the coronavirus lockdown. So many people are concerned about their future. So many people go, oh my God, what the future will be. And now maybe this business isn't going that well and that business isn't going that well. So why don't you take a moment and look at yourself and go, okay, what is it that I truly desire? What's fun for me? And there is more than one thing that's fun for you. I can guarantee that. And allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to explore more possibilities by asking for it and by knowing, hey, if I want it, I can do it. And you don't need to look to the right or to the left how other people do it. You can be inspired by others. But when you do it, please be yourself and trust yourself that you do it your way. This is what our planet now requires. You knowing what you want, because only you know what makes you happy. And my point of view is, if we have more happy people on our planet, we will have a greater place to live in. So if you do it your way, the way it puts a huge smile on your face every morning, this is how you change the world, because you are happy and then you inspire others. Then you inspire, hey, why is this person so happy? Well, I do what's fun for me. I do what works for me. I allowed myself to make choices that work for me. Sometimes probably not in line with mainstream. And many people will say, well, there's such a high risk. There's such a high risk. Well, how can you ever talk about risk if you know you're capable of doing whatever it takes if it's fun for you? So the only risk that I see is that I do something against my knowing. But since this is a choice, that risk is kind of zero if you look at it in a pragmatic way. So actually, this is what I wanted to talk about this morning, inspiring people to do it their way, because this is what creates the change. It's not looking for what would change the world. Don't look at outside sources if you want to create change. Don't look at outside sources when you want to expand your business or want to change your job or do something else. Start with yourself. start with yourself and be inspired for others. As you all probably know, I am also helping out or directing the El Lugar project, that resort we are building in Costa Rica. And I recently interviewed Simone Milasas. She was, when the project started, she was the worldwide coordinator of access consciousness. And we have this concept where we invite investors to become to buy a house there and then spend some time there, and then at the same time rent it out. It's a nice timeshare investment where you can stay there, where you make some money. And I was like, where did this idea come from? So I interviewed Simone Milasas about it. And guess what? They went to a venue in South Africa a year before, 2 years before, and they had the system in place. So she asked the owner, well, how do you run this? How do you do it? And he was so willing to give her all the ideas and how he does it. So she got inspired by the resort in South Africa. And this later on led to the system we have now, the investment possibility that we have now in El Lugar. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can be inspired. At the same time, you can do it your own way. It's not, there's no right or wrong way to do it. There is no, okay, I have to do it. You can actually take a look at everything. You can be inspired here. You can look how other people do it, but from a curiosity, the point of view of curiosity, and not, I have to do it that way. And then you just add your own stuff, and then you ask the question, what works for me? And then we are talking. Then you are doing it your way. And that way might be very similar to what other people do. But if it makes you happy, it's still your way. So I probably want to say that there is no right or wrong way to do it your way.
And be willing to ask questions.
Yes. There is no right or wrong way. There's kind of, everything is possible as long as you follow what you know and what's fun for you, what's exciting for you, what's inspiring for you. And also allow yourself to ask the question, so what do I want to create on this planet? What should, I don't know, in 5 years, in 10 years, some people want to leave a footprint and all that stuff. You don't have to make that significant, but you can take into account what you want to create in the future. Do you want to be an inspiration? What do you want to change? And then just go for it, and don't wait for others, or don't even try to figure out what result your action will have. Take action, and you will have the result because you will be happy.
Yeah.
And that's more or less this idea of doing it my way that I really love to remember that moment when it clicked in my life. So maybe it clicked in one of your lives now, or even inspired you just to take a different look at your current situation, especially when you're wondering what else you can create in this very it's an insane situation with the coronavirus lockdown.
Well, I was going to say, this is such a great opportunity, isn't it, for people to look into and to start creating something different. I remember you saying to me when we all sort of went into lockdown, that you were doing things that you had always wanted to do. You know, you had written a list of the things that, you know, like writing a book or doing something that, you know, you hadn't actually got around to doing before.
Yeah, well, I had this, I don't know why I wrote that. I had this list of things I always wanted to do and never had time to. And this is the list that I took the moment the lockdown started. I wasn't really concerned what will happen about finances, about business. I was like, well, no matter where it goes, it will go one way, because there is no stop. Nature doesn't know stop, and there is no going back. There is just keep going, and you choose where you go. You can go down the rabbit hole of drama and go, oh my God. Or you can go, well, I have this list here. I had this idea, I had that idea. This popped up. So I started facilitating. I started writing on my book. I started now reactivating an active specialty that kind of fell asleep, right? Riches for you. I'm starting to write a manual for that, getting it out there again. So there's so much you can do. I finally renovated one of the apartments I bought years ago, and it was just sitting there waiting for me to get some attention. So there is always something you can create. And the best way to get started is don't try to figure out what it will create. Ask the questions to yourself, will this be fun for me? And please get that. I mean, there's a whole specialty, joy of business. You can turn every breath you take into an income stream if it's fun for you. If it's fun for you, and you know what's fun for you. And then please, if you remember that little story with me singing on stage, be really honest to yourself. Is it fun for me, or do I think is nothing that works for me because someone told me? Did I buy a lie? And we bought a lot of lies, which is not, hey, it's part of the game. I mean, people are who they are. And especially when you're a child, okay, you take it for granted. It's fine. I'm not traumatized because it's not that significant. And still, it was like this aha moment. So yeah, that's more or less how I maneuver myself and create in this special situation, and how I look at my life. And I think waking up, being excited with a big smile on your face. I mean, I normally wake up before the alarm rings because I'm so excited, and I go like, woof. It's actually awesome. It's worth a try. So you can at least try it. Pick something that's truly fun for you. Don't care about the how and what, and don't try to figure out. Just be it, do it, enjoy it, and let's see what that creates.
And David, can you talk a little bit about thriving, not just surviving, coming out of Corona as well, using your capacities so that you exponentialize everything going forward into the future?
Well, thriving versus surviving is, thriving is having more than you need to survive. And I'm using the word need now because this is what this is what everybody tells you. You have to cover your needs. And once you covered your needs, you're all good. This is the point of view of I call it the war generation. When people were World War I, World War II, for them, being able to survive was the greatest success they could dream of. Yeah, that's 70 years ago or even longer. That doesn't apply anymore. For them, it was absolutely fine. And whenever they told you that's the way to live, yeah, back then it was. It has now changed. They're not wrong. It was different time and different circumstances. But now in 2020, being privileged of having, 50, 60 years without war, at least in Europe and in America, we can allow ourselves to thrive and to have more. And thriving means adding to your life, adding beyond needs, the daily needs. And you cannot.
Exponentializing.
Yes. You're allowed to ask for more. And there will always be someone on the planet who suffers more, who has less, and who thinks that they have higher needs or greater needs. Yes, that's a given, but you can't. It won't change their situation if you don't ask for more, okay? So you are allowed to ask for more, and you are allowed to receive it, because it's not linear. If you are happy, if you are excited, if you run around with a big smile, it contributes to the entire planet. You being angry and worried that there is war in another country doesn't change the world. But you being happy and being grateful, receiving, creating, it does. So this is what I'm choosing. And this is my way of being a contribution to everyone, even to those who have left, who are in a different situation and who might not be there yet. But if more people choose to be happy, well, let's see what that creates. We need to try it out instead of trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and you're such an inspiration to me personally, because you speak to all of this with so much ease. Creating more wealth for yourself, success, anything it is that you seem to do is with so much ease.
Just go for it. I give it a try because I know one thing: if it doesn't work, I can change it. It's so easy, and sometimes it's probably too easy for people, and they're afraid to make a mistake and to lose something. Well, guess what? You can't really make a mistake. I always say the only mistake you can make is not choosing when a choice is required. And life should function from choosing in 10-second increments. You can choose different. You can change things that don't work. You're not bound to a decision forever. This is one of the lies that we buy from this reality, that you are, that people can't count on you because you always change your mind. Well, guess what? I do what works for me, and I go with the flow. This is how nature generates. It just keeps going. That nature doesn't try to figure out. It reaches growth in all directions. So are you looking at the thread?
I am, and I just put up, so great to you for the gift and inspiration you are.
Good. Because you can ask questions. Just because it's a Facebook Live doesn't mean you can't ask questions.
I was always taught to be thrifty, etc. Thank you for this. It is so expansive. So there's a lot of you we buy from our parents and from everybody, you know, that we're brought up with, or that we're surrounded by as we grow up. Can you talk about how we can get out over those points of view, if you know, if they're kind of quite fixed?
Well, you grew up where you grew up, okay, and it's not significant, it's not dramatic. You can still change it. A lot of people try to kind of resolve their past issues and get clarity with their past, and then they want to freedom, and then they choose, no, hey, your parents didn't. It is what it is. Yeah, it's in the past. I always say there are two things in life you cannot change. It's your past and it's other people. But you can change your point of view. So if you would all allow yourself to change your point of view about your past, no matter whose fault it was and how difficult it was and how mean people were, hey, it's your past. Stop it. Choose different. Close that door, have no point of view, and move on. I mean, people that are at that point where they go, fuck, this is where it came from. They should be grateful that they know now what's not working for them and make that work, rather than digging in the past, trying to change something they cannot change. You cannot change your past, but you can change your point of view about your past. And you can say, goodbye, that door is closed, and now we are talking. And that's actually the way I function from. Why would I care about things that don't matter anymore? My life is my choice. And also, if I fail from other people's points of view, okay, it's me failing and I don't have a point of view, to leave me alone. I'm enjoying making mistakes according to this reality. And I did a lot. I mean, investments, business decisions, this and that. I mean, you can't always be the smart guy. And well, it doesn't really matter, because it keeps me going. It's this, life has no completion. Life has no completion. It's the everyday moments, being that and having fun and enjoying it, and no matter what. So please just be a little bit more pragmatic. Don't make your path too significant. You can always say, okay, thank you for that information. Close the door, close the back door, and move on.
And the willingness to be different as well, right? And stand out, and, you know, just, can you talk a little bit about, you know, having no judgment about that?
Yes, we are. The willingness to be different is actually the willingness to do what works for you, and the willingness to be different is, for me, more or less the same. Mankind is different. Everyone is different. No one looks alike. Okay, not even twins. So the idea that there is a normal, that's first of all a big lie. And being different than others means, okay, you don't have to do it the way others do, but you also don't have to actually prove to the world that you are different. This is what I see a lot, that people, once they get that they're out of their box now, they get rid of all the limitations and they find what works for them, and then they go into proving how different they are. That's actually the same energy, like limiting it or avoiding it, proving it. If you are truly different, you don't have to prove it, you just be it. And people who are being different, they have no point of view what other people think. and they are not seeking alignment and agreement from other people. And sometimes it can be fun to poke the bear and provoke others by being different, but from a fun choice, not from this, oh, I am different now and I am proving it. And if you're doing that, or if that occurs around you, it's easy, just change it. Always ask your question, I am functioning from proving, or I'm functioning from creating?
I love that question.
Question that I was, and hey, I did it as well. Why do you think I know all this shit? Because I've been there and done that. I mean, can you imagine? I'm a lawyer, okay? In the legal world, as a lawyer, you have to find out what is right, what is wrong, to finally come to a conclusion. This is what my clients paid me for. And then I met access. Of course, I went into proving how wrong this legal system and how wrong everyone is. And guess what? I found out that's not really creating what I want to create in the world. So I started asking the question, so am I functioning from proving, or am I truly creating here? Creating way lighter, way more fun, way more smiles on my face. So way more success for me.
I love that. I love that question. Yeah. So Eva is asking, can you talk about creating with and for the future?
Well, creating with and for the future, creating the future, I think Gary Douglas mentioned it recently. Creating the future is actually being. If you want to create a certain future, be it today. That's how you create future. Don't wait for it to come from outside. Time and space is not linear. So that future that you perceive, that you want to create, be that today. That's how you create the future, by being it today, not by waiting for it to happen in the future, by taking action that leads towards it. That's a linear point of view. Generating future doesn't work like that. So if you truly want to create a future you want to see, or you want to be, or you want to have, you have to be that now. That's the way to create it, by being it now. And you could all start now, or as soon as that Facebook Live is over.
Exactly. So we've got a few more comments.
Yes, comment.
Smiles bring you money. I like that.
Yes, go for it. Have fun.
Yeah, it all comes down to that fun, that you were talking about so brilliantly at the beginning.
Yes, this is it. This is actually also my definition of success. It's not the money in my bank account, it's the amount of smiles on my face. Can you imagine being a millionaire of smiles? How much change that would create, and how much money that would attract? You obviously you all know that the energy of money follows joy. So the more smiles you have on your face, the more money will come to you. So you might want to start with a smile millionaire and see how much cash millions that creates.
I was going to say, I heard Richard Branson was being interviewed, and somebody asked him what was the definition of success, and he said, well, if you're having fun, how can you not be successful?
Yes, I like Richard Branson.
It was so brilliantly put.
That's brilliant, and I think this is how. I think this could be the way to end this Facebook Live, with that message of, okay, if you doubt your capacity to become a bank account cash millionaire, well, start with being a smile millionaire and see what that creates, okay? And you could actually start to figure out, how often do I need to smile to create 1 million smiles a day? Well, good luck with that. Have fun practicing it. And the next Facebook Live of this series, I think it's already tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
So, yeah, maybe when you watch tomorrow, you are already a smile millionaire. Well, I will be one, because I'm already it. And I really like it. I love it. I enjoy it. And well, if that was an inspiration for you to choose that too for your own life, let's be this Millionaires Club. the Millionaires Club of Smiles.
Yeah. And smiling is very contagious too. So
it is. It is. So thank you everyone for watching this.
Yeah, so we have Katarina Wallentin on tomorrow.
Ooh, cool.
On for call number 6. So join us same time, same place at 10.
No,
10
they have to join 10 minutes later because Katarina is way better with technical stuff than I am, so she won't mess it up. Thank you, everyone. Laura, thank you so much for hosting this, and have fun and start smiling. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.